everyone, welcome back. I'm Denise, and I've had a whole bunch of requests on a favorites video, so I thought going into the holidays that this would be the perfect video if you're looking for some goodies, or if you have an artist friend that needs some art supplies for Christmas. Then I have got my very favorite things that I've used and loved in 2024. So this is my 2024 favorites list. And then I also want to mention, because we're going into the holidays and we have the Black Friday sales and everything that'll be going on, that my website is also on sale using coupon code Black Friday BF 2024. And I'll link this below in the video. And on my site, we've got photography workshops, we've got art workshops, and we've got textures for photos if you like putting textures in your photography. And we have presets and Photoshop brushes. And the presets and the Photoshop brushes, this is a last chance opportunity on those. I will be retiring those after the Cyber Monday passes. And then also I want to mention that Skillshare, my favorite partner, is doing a 50% off of their current pricing for Black Friday. So you want to check that out, because 98% of my art classes are on Skillshare also. So if you like being on a platform where you can view tons of classes from a variety of different artists in different subjects and all my art classes, then Skillshare is a fantastic deal. And the half off is their Black Friday Cyber Monday specials. And I think in the United States that price is around $168 thereabouts, give or take a few pennies here and there. So half off of that would be for a full year of access to the classes. So super good deal. So let's take a look at what my very favorite things this year to use were. And I bet if you've been watching my videos, you could probably guess what some of those things are. So let's take a look at my favorites for this year. And next year it'll probably be something different, and we could see some other things show up again, because I'd say a couple of these things might have been my favorite at the end of 2023. But here it is, my 2024 favorites. So we all know I like working in the big art journals, and I've been making my way through this gigantic Dina Wakley journal with you guys in the videos. And I was scared to go this big, like in an art journal. I was afraid, oh, what happens if I mess it up? What if I don't like the stuff I do? But man, this has really got me outside my comfort zone, and I have truly, truly enjoyed moving to a book format for paintings rather than just doing loose sheets, because when you're done, you have like something done. Because people are always like, what do you do with all the things that you paint? Because I don't sell art, because I create workshops and stuff. I keep a lot of the stuff that I paint. I frame some of it goes in clear art sleeves, and I put it in the closet until I need it for a sample or an example or some ideas or something I want to cut up. And so I keep everything, mostly give some for gifts. It's just never been my goal to sell, but it's my goal to create, like, all the time. And so making YouTube videos and art workshops gives me a purpose to show up and create. So find your purpose, and then it's easier to show up and get better and grow as an artist. So this has been one of my very favorite art tools this year to play in, has been this very large journal that's no longer available. And as soon as I started painting in this, they all sold out, and then everybody else was like, I can't get it. So then, of course, you know me, I made some lovely workshops on making your own art journals. And so, you know, now I've been painting in some of my own art journals, and these have been amazing, because then I could pick out the papers and I could pick out the different elements that I included, and I have enjoyed these even more. But some people don't want to make their book, and I get that. And right now, for a super limited time, when I'm filming this video, there is still some stock left. They have come back with a reprint of the book that's just a tiny bit smaller than mine. I think this is the 10 by 14 was the big one. This one is like 8 inch by 10 inch, I think. And it's got all the same, yeah, 8 by 10. It's got all the same papers. It's just that little bit smaller size, and it's the same size as these that I made that I've been working in. So I already know that I like this size. So I did order myself a couple of these just in case, because even though I like my handmade ones better, you never know. Fear of missing out there. I may want one. So I ordered one myself. This has come back for one last reprint. I think this is the first one that Dina Wakley made, and they've come out with one last print of these, and so it's now or never. If you've watched my videos and you've been wanting to get a little journal, snag it while they're available. And then somebody told me that this was an interim journal till 2 new ones come out next year, so that'll be interesting to see what the next ones are. But if you want to follow along with any of the videos that I've done, or you've been really wishing you'd gotten this, or you hopped on the wagon after these were all sold out, go get one of these now. And I will say on the Ranger site, because I'm going to link that below for you, and I'm not an affiliate for Ranger, I just truly love this product. They seem to only stock or put out, you know, available like 100 at a time, and then it shows out of stock. So if you look at the page and it says out of stock, check back again tomorrow, and then check back again the next day, and then check back again the next day, because I think what they're doing is limiting the number that they put out as in stock so they can fulfill orders every day. So keep checking back after you look, because until they're sold out, I guess they're going to keep replenishing that. So keep checking back every day if you hit the out of stock page until it says, you know, gone for good, because I think they're just trying to control what they have to ship out and package every day. So this, definitely huge favorite. Try to get them before they're gone. Love the Dina Wakley Mixed Media Journal. Okay, woo, lots of stuff under the pile there. And if you watched any of my art hauls, you've seen me talk about the fabric stash. This is the 1924 Linens and More shop. I absolutely love this little shop for the curated bundles and color coordinating that she creates in these vintage fabric collections. And this was the November box that I had here. And she's got vintage papers and vintage laces, and her Etsy shop is just an incredible, inspiring selection of yummy bits and pieces. And so these are perfect for the person in your life who likes to journal. These are good for art journaling, junk journaling, collage work. I use these a lot in the covers of my handmade books. So even though I don't love to sew, I can sew, and I do love to create little pretty things. So while I'm never going to be like my grandmother and sew all my clothes that my whole family wears, I'm definitely going to want to have pretty little stashes of fabric to play in and work into my art. So these are perfect for people that like to slow stitch. If you like to make doll clothes, that would be super good with these little curated bundles. Here's one of the little lace bundles that I've got. Just a wonderful selection of things. And so, you know, I've got some of my grandmother's lace pieces and stuff, and while I'm hesitant to use any of those in my art journals or what have you, I can get little pieces like this that aren't so closely attached to my sentiment to my grandmother. I'm not afraid to use these. So if you've got pieces that you're like, oh, I love these, I want to use them in my work, but I don't want to ruin it, or I don't want to use it in something that I'm not going to like later, it's special, my grandmother made it, whatever, something like this kind of gets rid of that anxiety for me. And so I love playing in the little trinkets and the lace bits and all the yummy pieces that she curates. And she has, I've shared her shop a couple times. She has some memberships that you can join also. They're fantastic. So if you have anybody in your life, or you've been wanting a nice little kind of stash of fabrics without buying big pieces at the fabric store, my favorite find this year, like literally. I love this little fabric selection shop, 1924 Linens and More. And so I've used those in my art journals that I make, and I'm going to make some more, and I have a whole stash of fabrics now that I can dig through and play in. It's very exciting. So that is definitely a huge win and a favorite for me. So definitely check that out if you've got a fabric lover, slow stitching, you want to do, you know, mixed media, slow fiber arts kind of things. Okay, so let's talk about some favorite brushes. So I could probably do everything that I want to do with these 7 brushes. I've about decided. And I got a lot of paint brushes. And I like pulling them out and playing. But I really like this Neptune watercolor set that includes an aquarelle 3/4 inch, a round 4, a round 12, and an oval wash 1/2 inch. I've been using these a lot. Favorite little collection there, so I'll link that below. Also, my number 4 Raphael and my number 0 Raphael are my very favorite mop brushes. They are they hold a lot of water, and they out of all the mop brushes that I have, these are my absolute favorite, and I pull them out every time. And then if I'm working with some acrylic paint, like doing some abstract flowers or work like that, these Princeton Umbria number 6, the 1/2 inch Filberts, that is my favorite paintbrush for acrylic paint. It's a little bit stiff. Definitely moves the paint around. I have a bunch of these, and that's my very favorite for a little bit of acrylic work going, you know, on top of my watercolor in my mixed media art. So that is my 7 favorite brushes. If I only had those, I think I could paint just about everything that I want to paint and not have to have another brush. So super favorite paintbrushes. One of my newest favorites that I actually got to test out a couple months ago when I was filming that Sketchbox holiday box video. So this is long before they were even came out, and now they're brand new. They just came out in November, are these Copic Acrylic markers, and these are a water-based paint marker or ink or something like that. It's light fast, they're permanent, they make amazing marks. So for any of the pieces that we paint that you do mark making on, especially like any of the mindful pieces that, you know, I've kind of been playing with and working on, where I do a lot of mark making and stuff on the pieces, these markers are gonna be like my go-to. So Copic Acrylic, brand new by Copic, and I like Copic products. They're nice products. These are nice, sturdy, full kind of pen, and the original 3 that I got for that video a couple months ago was a gold and a pink and something else, but the gold that I had got opened right up and still writes like the new one. So if you pump it and you go. So I do love these. They are excellent for mark making, and that's going to be a go-to for my mark making. And it comes in 24 colors, I think. So 3 little packs of 6 are what we have for those. And I like, if you only get one, I'd get the one with the metallics in it. It's got gold and silver and white. It's got 6 in it, but it's the pack with the gold and the silver. That's what I'd go for. But I do like having all of them, and that's a brand new favorite for me. Yay for Copic. Another favorite are for the mark making especially, and it's turned into my favorite for like fine line white mark making, are the Signo Uniball pens, and these are again really nice for fine lines and, you know, drawing on things and mark making. And so I actually got this in the white and the silver and the gold. I should have got a black too. But I do think that these are going to be a favorite for some fine mark making on some different projects that I have in mind. So yay for those. Another favorite for me this year is these Art Toolkit palettes. And what these allowed me to do, because I have all my Daniel Smith paints just kind of in a drawer, you know, just kind of laid out in a drawer that sit in a cabinet over here beside me. And because they're all kind of, I don't know, in tubes and not as convenient, and you got to dig through all the colors, I thought, you know, I need a solution that will put these on my desk at my fingertips, that will allow me to have all my colors readily available and conveniently in a package so small that these could just travel with me. They're very thin, they're very lightweight. These pans hold a lot of paint, and so I actually created myself 3 different palettes of my Daniel Smith colors, and because I have put them in such a convenient little packaging here, and it sits on my desk, so I actually pull these out and use them now. And so that has been a real find this year. I mean, I've got other paint palettes here from like Amazon, you know, that work just fine also, but they're a little bigger. You can tote them with you. They are a good size, so I do like these, and I like that they've got pretty painted pictures on them, but these are even smaller than these. They're more compact. They're half the width, and if you wanted to say carry, you know, all your paints together with you, you know, all 3 of those take up no space and they're not heavy, so you could travel with that and you'd have all your paints with you. So the Art Toolkit palettes, definitely a fave. Another favorite for me that you see me pull out in just about every thing that I paint are the Kuretake Genzai Tambi watercolor paints. And I have the Art Nouveau set, and I have the 48-piece set, and I do like having all the colors because of the color palette challenges and things that I pull out when I pull out my color palettes, and that way I can just very easily get very close to a color palette I'm trying to start with, and it just makes the process so much easier. And I love these because they're not like traditional watercolor. They are in between like a watercolor and a gouache. They're a little more opaque than Western watercolor. These are made in Japan. These are Japanese watercolors, and they're made with a different kind of binder than we typically use in our watercolors. So I like the differences that this set offers, because I like gouache a lot. Gouache is more opaque and it's kind of matte looking, and it's thicker than, say, a watercolor when you're doing painting on a piece. And so I like these because it's kind of in the middle of that. So I'm getting the yummy washes of the watercolor, but I'm getting some of the opaqueness of the gouache, and it blooms pretty and it does just fun things. But it is not like a traditional watercolor. My neighbor is a teacher who likes to do art journaling in the bullet journals and stuff, so she paints in the journals, and she had gotten a set of this because I like it so much, and then she was like, but it doesn't look like these other watercolors that she had seen somebody in a video doing. And I said, oh, it's not going to do that. That's not what these are. These are not traditional, you know, translucent type watercolors. They are a different look, and that's why I like them. So 2 of my very favorites, like faves. Like I will keep on using these for a very long time, and these go a long way. I mean, I've been painting out of this one for a good year, more than a year, and I've still, even though you're thinking, oh, it's a wider amount of paint and I got to the bottom really quick, there's still a ton of paint left in there. So these go a long way, even if you doubt it when you first start painting with it, because man, I'm like beating some of these up and there's still lots of paint in there, and I'm kind of amazed at how much I'm still going with them, that blue and that. So Kuretake Genzai Tambi, the watercolors, I will put these below, link those below for you. Super favorite. Okay, also super favorite is my Mungyo Artist Gallery oil pastels, and I like these because of the texture that they have compared to some other oil pastels, because I have Sennelier and I have a couple other brands, and these have a different texture. I've got the Caran d'Ache ones that look like this, but out of all of those, these are my favorite. I like the vibrancy of the color. I like the texture difference. I like the marks that you can make with these that just pop off the page, you know, compared to the other mediums that I'm painting under these. You do have to add a little bit of a finishing spray on top of your oil pastels or they won't dry. So I use the Sennelier oil pastel fixative when I do that. And that's just a coat when you're all done. And then this, for some magical reason, magically lets them get like a hard coat that doesn't smear and stuff on top. So you definitely have to spray these or they're going to continue to stay slightly wet, which makes sense because these little sticks stay wet forever. So kind of makes sense that they don't dry on your paper either. So you definitely have to finish it. But these are a fave for mark making, for color. I like the texture. This, out of all the oil pastels, has turned into my very favorite set. Okay, another super favorite of 2024 is my color cubes, and I have box 1 and box 2. These are by Sarah Renee Clark, and if you are a regular on my channel, you know that now I am just a proponent of pulling a color card and going for whatever color palette that maybe we picked and seeing what we can create that day. And so I actually, tag the ones I've done with a little leaf hole punch that I like. Some people are offended that I punch my cards and say, oh, you should just highlight the number. And I could, but I like my little leaf punch. And it's very clear to me when I pull that out that these are maybe a color palette that I have done at some point in some video. And if I want to remember how it did, I can go back and find a video for how that one worked. So this is by far my #1 favorite art tool. I actually use this. I pull these out for every bit of things that I paint now because I find color fascinating. I find it frustrating. I've studied colors for 30 years because I have a degree in interior design, and we studied color a lot back then. And you can do the plain old color palettes like complementary and split complementary and analogous and all those. But then I kind of am like, well, how can I make those more complex and more interesting? And what else could I put with that? And then I like so many colors and so many supplies and so many different things that I get kind of paralyzed right there at the very beginning with, oh no, what do I want to create? What colors do I want to use? And what paints do I want to play with? And before I even get started, I'm already in panic mode. And so now my process has been, let's pull a color card. I'm going to create with this. And then I just start making decisions. With the first decision made, it makes all the other decisions easier. So now I'm like, okay, let me pull some of these Kuretake paints and we'll start with that. And then let's pull some things from art making and go from there. And so this has made the whole process for me much more enjoyable, and I love them. And you can find tons of videos on my YouTube channel if you've not been around for very long on me pulling cards and using them. I've got a whole playlist on color palette challenges where I start with these and we go from there. And it also gets you outside your comfort zone because you get into a rut when you find some favorite colors that you like, and maybe you're like, oh, I've been using these same colors forever. What else can I do? Or how can I push myself? Or how can I grow some more? What direction can I go? And these things push you outside of your comfort zone, because now you're like, haha, I never would have put these colors together. Let's see what that creates. And let me tell you, 99 times out of 100, we are surprised where we end up when I'm done. I mean, shocked, like, wow. And then every once in a while, I can kind of visualize it. With the photography, I totally visualized everything I did before I even started doing a setup. I'd prop shop and then I'd visualize the whole thing and I'd set it up, and it's exactly what I had in my mind. With the art, if I do that, I get frustrated because the expectation doesn't end up like it did in my mind. And so I feel better letting go of those expectations and playing and experimenting and enjoying that process and picking a color palette and say, okay, what can I create today and where can we end up? And then no matter where you end up, you're kind of pleased because you didn't set an expectation in your mind that you didn't accomplish in your mind. And so this has made my whole art journey so much more joyful. It's my #1 favorite tool. I love these, the color cube. If you've got an artist in your life that needs a gift them these and send them to some of my YouTube videos. If you want something to push you outside of your own comfort zone and get you more creative and more spontaneous, these are my go-to. I love it. Another thing that I love this year is these Artix acrylic marker set. And I know I've seen a lot of videos where they've given these to a lot of artists to test out. And I think when they sent me an email like that, I declined it because I declined most of the emails where they're trying to give me stuff. And so I purchased this set and then have been randomly using it. And this is the one that's I don't know, it's like manga or something like that. Manga, it's like whatever that drawing style is. It's not the bright set, it's the other set. So I like this set because of the lovely colors in it. Okay, I had to stop and look. This is the anime set. And they also have a regular color set, and they have a bright colors, pastel color set. So this is the anime set, and I liked it because of the colors that were in it. And it's good enough for everything that I want to do. That's 60 colors. That's a lot. And what I like about these is you just open and go. And I like that these are a brush tip, because it gives me some interesting mark making options. So these have turned into a super favorite for acrylic markers and mark making. Last but not least, in any way, these are my 3 favorite, all brand new. They've just came out recently. 3 favorite books for kind of making yourself work in your, giving you like a direction and some ideas. And my favorite for creative mark making and working in watercolor and stretching your skills and getting creative with your paints and your papers and just giving you some ideas. So when you're stuck, you can sit down and say, ooh, let me pick a project and make one of these today. So Creative Abstract Watercolor by Kate Rebecca Leach. Super favorite book here, and I have worked through some of this book myself because it was fun and engaging and just exciting to play with different techniques that maybe I hadn't thought of. So I have been working my way through that lovely book in some of my art journal. These are some abstracts that I just like to make in between those, but I've had a lot of fun just kind of experimenting and playing in that book. So you can check out some of those videos if you want to see how you might work through a book yourself. It has me looking at all my other books with some new eyes because I'm like, that was super enjoyable, and this one is my most favorite. Another favorite that I just got, it's a brand new book, hasn't been out long. It's the same idea, but it's in collage. So it is collage and mark making in fun, interesting, creative projects. And I think that this would be a really cool addition to the other book to get you thinking outside your comfort zone and trying some fun new things. So this is Collage du Jour by Lucy Douglas. And she's a Skillshare teacher too. She found me on her she found me on Instagram after catching my video with her book in it, and I didn't realize that she was also a Skillshare teacher, so that was very exciting. So this one, super favorite also. This also brand new, like a couple weeks old by the time you're watching this video, but it is kind of an extension of those two with more ideas, more creativity, more just ideas to get you painting. So my handmade book that I created, I decided was going to be my mindful watercolor book, and I wanted to fill it up with just ones that maybe I take a little more time on. Maybe I would do some abstracts in it, maybe I do some of these pattern pieces in it. Maybe I do like a page of one of the projects and just enjoy painting in a book with more thought and consideration than I might do on an abstract piece that I'm doing on a piece of paper that I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. And so I've thoroughly enjoyed having a book with a specific purpose, and then so that you don't get stuck on that purpose, something like this could help you fill that book. It's not something that you're doing for any other reason than your own enjoyment, and to fill a book that you can then look back on and really enjoy, which I do. I enjoy flipping through that book and seeing different things that I accomplished that I might not have done otherwise. This is a good way to learn new skills and just push yourself right outside of your comfort zone. Like I can see doing tons of these in different colorways, pulling a color card, pulling your paints and just going for a whole page of boxes, changing up the colors and having like a really cool color study. I can see doing a ton of these. So this book was really exciting because I'm like, ooh, nice extension of the other books. Love it. It is Modern Watercolor Workshop by Puka Kinjal Umrani. So I'm sure I didn't say that right, but I will link these below in below the video for you so you can find all of those. Hope you loved all of my super favorites. These are all the ones that you see me pull out every time I do a video, so none of these should be a surprise if you've been watching my channel for a while. And if you've got an artist in your life that needs some fun art goodies or some fabric stash pieces, or maybe a new journal in their life to come watch some of these videos and paint with me, these are some good choices. So I hope you all enjoyed seeing what my favorites were, and I'll see you guys next time. And if you've got any super favorites, put those down in the comments so I can check those out. Maybe there's something else I need for 2025. I'll see you guys next time.